Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Axiom Programming Basics, and in this video we are going to talk about different types of variables in C++. We also are going to talk about input object, which is the CN, arithmetic operators, and we'll also go over the string concatenation. So before we dive in, I need to show some settings. The users who are using Mac and VS Code for their code editor, they need to change some settings because the terminal for VS Code is read only. So we need to change some settings in order for us to put some input. So let's see how to do that. So first of all, what you are going to do, you're going to go to this settings widget and click over here, go to settings. So in settings, go to your extensions and then scroll to your run code configuration, and then you will find this executor map edit in settings.json. So open that up, and then probably you will have until line number 18. So you need to go to line number 18 and put a comma, and then what you would like to do is type in these two lines of code. So the purpose of line number 19 and 20 is that line number 19 is telling the code editor to clear all the previous output. Whenever you are executing, the previous output will be cleared out. And then line number 20 is going to let you input whatever you want to type in inside the terminal. So save it, and then let's go to our hello world.cpp. So let's dive in and look at the different topics we're going to talk about. So let's talk about the different types of variables here. So they're basically int, string, char, boolean, and then for numbers you also have float, double, long, short. So these are for numeric single precision. We will take a look at these later on in our course. For now, I would like you to focus on line number 14's example, which is int, string, char, and bool. So let's see how we can use these different type of variables. So let's go and let's see the examples for int. So when you are doing int number 1 equals 0, what you're doing is you're declaring and initializing the variables. You can also declare the variable first and then initialize its value, but it is a good practice to declare and initialize the variable, because if you don't do it, then they get garbage data by default. So as a good practice, we would like to do what line number 16 is showing us. So after that, what we are gonna do is, let's see an example how we can use a string. So string is basically used for storing text. So let's say if I have string str equal, then you have a char, and then we have a boolean. So boolean is basically for storing true or false. So as you can see, these are the different types of variables we can use. So they also have memory allocation. So if you would like to see that, what you can do is you can use the cout object, and then you can use the stream insertion operator. And then let's say I would like to see the memory allocation for int. So I would say size of int, and then again a stream insertion operator, and then we're going to use the end line, which stands for end line stream manipulator, which basically will give us a new line. So let's see what happens if we compile it. So let's run the code. So as you can see over here, it's giving us 4 bits. So for int, it will give you 4 bits. So let's do the same for, let's see the other different types of variables as well. So let's run it, and as you can see, the first line is saying it's 4, so it's 4-bit, string is 24-bit, bool is 1-bit, and char is 1-bit as well. So now let's look at the input object, which is the CN. So CN is a standard input object and is going to send into the program and store in a variable whatever the user types. Now let's look at an example using CN operator. We'll do cout, enter a number, and then again stream insertion operator, and then again stream insertion operator followed by an end line stream manipulator, and then we're gonna do cn, and this time what the stream operator we're gonna use is this one. So we're gonna say number 1, so in line number 26 this is the stream insertion, and for line number 27 this is called the stream extraction. So what's going to happen is that using this stream extraction operator will extract from the input characters the user typed and place the value into the variable, whatever the variable was. It may be int, string, char, or boolean. So let's see what happens if we run the code. So if you run the code, as you can see, it is showing us the statement enter a number, and then it went to line number 27 and it is waiting for the user to give it an input. So let's input. So as our input was int, so you cannot input any other type. So I cannot just type in text or a character. So if I do that, what happens is, as you can see, it will not show, it will not take in this type of character. So what we would like to do is let's rerun the code, and this time we're going to type in, let's say, the number 23. So as you can, oh, I made a mistake here. So what you would like to do is number 1 and then that. Sorry about that. So let's run the code. So as you can see, it's waiting for our input. So let's type in that, and as you can see, it gave us the number 23, which we typed in. So that is an example for the input object cn. We can also use it this way as well. So let's say we have another integer. So let's run the code and see what will happen this time. So it's waiting for our first input. So let's say we are inputting 10, and then it's asking us to input the second number. So let's say let's input 50. So as you can see, we didn't change that. It has to be changed to number 2, because we would like to see whatever is stored at number 2 variable. So save it and then rerun the code. So let's say we are inputting 35 for the first number and 70 for the second number. So as you can see, this time we're getting whatever we input for number 1 and then whatever we input for number 2. So this is how you can use the cn object for input from the user. Now let's look at how we can use the string for our input. So as it is case sensitive, you need to make sure whatever you typed in for your variable's name, it has to match. Let's save it and run the code. Redefine. Oh, we mentioned the in line number 18 as well. So let's comment these ones out as well. So let's save it and rerun it. So as you can see, the terminal is asking for an input. So let's type in max. So as you can see, after we input the text, it went to line number 40 and it is showing us whatever we have typed in. Let me show you one problem you might run in using cin object. So let's say we would like to type in the full name and would like to output the typed in full name. So let's save that and let's rerun the code. So let's say I'm typing Maxwell. So now, as you can see, it's not taking in the last name. So in order to solve that problem, what you would like to do, instead of using the cin, you would use the other object for input, and that is called getline. And the way to use getline is that it takes in two parameters, the cin object, and then you would like to mention str, where the variable will be stored. So after that, save it and then run the code. So it's asking for our full name, so let's type in again Maxwell. So as you can see, it took in the entire statement we typed in. After that, let's look at some arithmetic operators. So after taking in our input, we would like to save it in a different variable called sum. So over here, what we are doing is basically taking the numbers and adding it and then saving it to a different variable called sum. So it is different from algebra equality operator, because this is literally taking the result of whatever is on the right hand side of the equal sign and placing it into the memory location that sum represents. So we cannot do something like this, even though it's basically the same thing in mathematics. You can't do that. That will be an error. So let's go ahead and output that. So let's rerun the code. As you can see, it's asking for the first input. So let's say 5, and then we're gonna do 8. So as you can see, it's showing the sum is 13. So this is how you can use the arithmetic operators. And for arithmetic operators, you actually have So these are the relational operators. As you can see, in the algebraic relation, we have greater, less, greater, equal, less than, and in C++ it's basically the same meaning. But for equality operators, as you can see, if you want to write something conditional, let's say x is equal to y, then you need to write it as equal, and it will, the meaning of that is x is equal to y. Or if you want to mean something that is not equal to, you have to write it as an exclamation mark and then an equal sign, which will mean that x is, over here as it says, x is not equals to y. So now let's see what is the string concatenation. So let's save it and then run the code. What's gonna happen is it's gonna ask for our first name. So let's say Max, and then it's gonna ask our last name. So let's type in well. As you can see over here, we don't have a space because we are using the first name and the last name, but we never put a space in between. But we are doing a string concatenation. So you can use the plus sign as an arithmetic operator to do a string concatenation like this. So I hope you all understand the basics of string concatenation, or how to use the different types of variables, or how to use the cin object, also the getline object as well. So that concludes my video for today's topic. Please excuse my stuttering or my typos. I'm actually new to this. Also, I might make some mistakes as well. So if you catch my mistake, please let me know where I am making the mistake and comment on it below. I would like to resolve that, because that's how we actually learn. I might make a mistake as well, because I'm also in the learning phase. I hope my video explained what you needed to know. If you need to know something else as well, so please comment below. And if you like the video, press the like button. If you love the video, subscribe it, because I'm working on this project and I will upload multiple videos in a week. So stay tuned for more videos and let me know how I can make some more improvements. So again, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video.